everybody, thanks again for joining me for another episode of Cooking with Jason. Today I'll be making one of my favorite comfort foods, which is mac and cheese. Now on many occasions I bought the store brand Velveeta shells and cheese, and I've made the entire box and ate it in one sitting. So I really like mac and cheese. It's one of my favorite comfort foods. But today I'm going to be making it pretty much from scratch using Pampered Chef's microwave pasta bowl, which is sitting in the microwave bowl cozy to protect my hands when I take it out of the microwave after it's cooked for about 6 minutes. So to get started, I've already got half a cup of Barolo elbow pasta in the bowl. I like this brand because the noodles actually have little grooves that help hold the cheese on them when you're eating them, and the more cheese the better. So to this I'm going to add 3/4 cups of water. Put the lid on. The lid has holes to allow the steam to escape, and when it starts to boil over, this helps keep it within the bowl and all the boil over stays in this, and it doesn't make a mess all over your microwave. I'll put that on there securely and just pop it in the microwave. And we're going to cook it for 6 minutes. And with most microwaves, you may have to adjust the time. This is, I think, a 1,000-watt microwave. If you have something less, you may have to cook it 10, 20, 30 seconds more. Or if you have a more powerful microwave, you may actually be able to do it for a few seconds less. So one of the things I like about making my own mac and cheese is that I get to choose the cheeses that go into it. Now, I love the cheese that's with the Velveeta shells and cheese, but I like doing different combinations and seeing what I can come up with. So when I first started doing this, I just used regular mild cheddar cheese, and then I said, hey, let me switch it up. So I used the cheddar and I mixed in some Gouda, and I found out that Gouda was very Gouda. And I know that's kind of cheesy, and I know I should stick to my day job as well as my Pampered Chef job and my cake baking and stay away from comedy. But there we go. So another reason I like shredding my own cheese is that pre-shredded cheese has cellulose in it. And you may say, well, Jason, what is the cellulose in pre-shredded cheese? It's wood pulp that's been ground up really fine that's used to coat the cheese shreds to prevent them from sticking together. So my favorite tool for shredding my cheese is Pampered Chef's microplane coarse grater. Unfortunately, at the time of this video, these are not available for sale due to the COVID-19 situation, but I do have an alternative, so don't fret. You don't have to deal with pre-shredded cheese and the wood pulp. I don't know about you, but I don't like eating wood. So I've already used some, so I used about half a cup of cheese. I just eyeball it. Don't really measure it out, but it just comes out nice and easy. So, and if you don't have a big block like this and you're dealing with a smaller piece of cheese, I highly recommend using the food holder that comes with it. It just slides on, and this will protect your fingers, because believe me, I know from experience that the little graters on here do not know the difference between cheese and fingertips, and you don't want to experience that. But as I mentioned, this is no longer or not currently available for purchase, but if you want to do shredded cheese still, the alternative is Pampered Chef's Veggie Strip Maker. This can be used with zucchini, squash, and similar vegetables to make strips if you want to do veggie pasta or something like that. But it works the same principle. I've got my Gouda cheese here. And just the same principle, just taking and shredding it back and forth. There is a little bit of a size differentiation between the two shredders. The Veggie Strip Maker is going to give you a slightly bigger shred, but it still works. And if you're not going to use your entire block of cheese at one time, I do recommend leaving it in the package and keeping it wrapped, and try to avoid touching it as much as possible. One of the things that happens when you touch cheese, very small bacteria still gets on it even when you wash your hands, and it'll cause it to mold quicker. So I've got my cheese ready. And so sometimes just mac and cheese is good for me, but sometimes I want a little something extra in it. So today I'm going to slice up the small piece of Andouille sausage and then pop that in the microwave for about 45 seconds. It's already pre-cooked, so it goes really good with this meal, keeps it nice and quick. I don't have to dirty up a frying pan to have something additional to wash. Other great alternatives for mixing in with your mac and cheese. One is pulled pork with barbecue sauce, or put shredded chicken with barbecue sauce. I think the barbecue sauce goes really well with the mac and cheese. The first time I had it was on a work trip to St. Louis at a local pub. Just looking for something interesting that I'd never had before. Even though I've had both components at different times, I've never had them mixed together. And it was a little bit of a wow factor for me to experience that. So I do that occasionally, but this is the quickest thing. I don't always have pulled pork or a good quality pulled pork, but this works really well. So I've got about a minute left. Once we take it out, I'll be adding in a quarter cup of evaporated milk and the cheese, and then I'll stir that together while the andouille sausage is cooking. Other uses for the microwave pasta bowl. One thing I love to use it for is for eating ice cream. I've got other regular bowls that I often use, but I like this because it's nice and big, and I didn't get this right here from eating small bowls of ice cream. I also like it because of the cozy, that when I'm eating that big bowl of ice cream and the bowl gets really cold, my hands stay nice and warm because I'm not touching the cold bowl. These make great gifts if you've got kids that are in college, getting ready to go to college. It's something they can use to make their own mac and cheese, or their ramen noodles, or whatever it is that they want to cook when they're living in the dorms. They don't have a lot of space for a lot of equipment, but they usually have access to a microwave and probably a small refrigerator to keep the cheese safe, as well as evaporated milk once it's been opened. Go ahead and take this out. As you can see, there was some, well, you may not be able to see, but there was some boil over, but it stayed within the top lid here. Let's get a plate for the andouille sausage. Spread it out and just pop it in the microwave for about 45 seconds to heat it up. So they recommend letting the pasta sit for about 2 minutes before mixing everything in. I like to mix it in right away because after 2 minutes it starts to cool down, so it loses some of its melting power for the cheese. This may be a little bit more than half a cup of cheese, but sometimes I think saying too much cheese is a little bit of blasphemy. So I like my cheese, so I put all that in. Then I'll also add the half a cup of evaporated milk. And just give it a stir until it all melts together. You can actually do 2 servings in this bowl. The cooking time goes from 6 minutes to 10 minutes. And even though I've sat there and ate a whole box of Velveeta shells and cheese, which I'm pretty sure is more than 2 servings of this, I actually had a little bit of a struggle to finish the entire bowl. Not sure why. Just give it all together there. So as you saw, I was shredding the cheese and cutting up the meat on Pampered Chef's flexible cutting mats. They have the small size here, as well as a larger size. They come in sets of 3. I love these. They protect my countertops from getting cut marks all in them. But I love the flexibility that once, like with the shredded cheese, I shred it, I can pick it up and then just dump it right in. Same thing with the meat, putting it on the plate. So you see it's starting to get nice and gooey, and cheese is all melted. Be a nice little lunch for me today. And then just grab my andouille sausage, toss that in, and now I've got a meal that'll stick with me for a good little while, and I won't be coming back 30 minutes later looking for more food. Well, actually, I probably will do that. Probably looking for something sweet. Unfortunately, I've run out of my cake scraps to eat on, so I may have to make another cake to have something sweet to chew on. But I appreciate you joining me today. Again, this is the microwave pasta cooker. It can be used for cooking your favorite pastas. This is mac and cheese today. Some of the other recipes that Pampered Chef offers is the Thai noodle bowl, tuna noodle bowl, a pizza pasta bowl, caprese pasta bowl, and a zucchini noodle lasagna bowl, which is some of the recipes that Pampered Chef has available. And I know there are others out there that Pampered Chef consultants have created on their own. So just give this a look at. It may be something good to have for at home, have one at work to make your lunch. Instead of going out spending $10, $15, you can spend less than $2 to make your own fresh meal. Thank you again for joining me, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.